Is Jalen escaping from the pocket too early?
No, I think Jalen has great instincts and feel of how to create space for himself, create operational space in the pocket. I think that's one of the parts of his game, one of the aspects of the game where he has just a great feel for for what he needs in terms of being able to create enough space to operate for him in the pocket.
Was there a cumulative in the last interception? He backpedaled. Didn't seem like there was pressure. Was that unnecessary?
Was it unnecessary? No, I think just anytime you're back there in the pocket, you're just trying to create that space to find windows to maneuver the defense, and I think that's just a part of playing quarterback. You'll see guys try to, there are really just four directions you can move. You're either moving, backwards, forwards, or sideways, or diagonal, I guess. So just as you start to navigate those windows and try to find lanes in the course of the pocket, that's something that every quarterback does is just try to find ways to navigate those tight windows.
Along those lines, he was under pressure a little more than maybe he's accustomed to being. Was there a cumulative effect in that game as it went on for him?
I don't think it was. I think the biggest thing is just treating each snap and each rush individually and not letting one affect the next. Each pocket declares a little bit differently, and how you maneuver that pocket will in turn have to declare differently. So I think just having that mindset and understanding that each play is independent, and taking that mindset, I think is something that's really important.
Brian, they shut down most of your first runs. Your first 5 or 6 runs didn't really produce a lot of yards. When that happens, what's your philosophy as far as sticking with it and trying to make it work, or do you just figure like it's not there today, we're just going to go another direction?
Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on the flow of the game, and what you need in particular. Credit those guys. They did a great job defensively. Anytime you score 14 points and turn the ball over 4 times, it's obviously not good enough. And we just have to use this as an experience to learn and continue to grow and obviously get better than what we showed on Sunday.
When you step back and look at the run-pass ratio, were you okay with the way it went?
Yeah, I was fine. I think we have really good players at a bunch of different spots, and sometimes you look at some of these runs or some of these passes or extensions of the run game when you start to add in some of the RPOs and the bubbles and the swing passes and things like that of just space touches. A lot of times those are extensions of the run game. So, when you look at a stat sheet and you see it's 45 passes or however many passes it is, but I think that varies when you talk about, that type of pass and then drop back pass. Yeah, anytime you take off one of the best players in the league at their position, I think, there's obviously going to be some difference and some change. And, Lane is obviously an elite player, and he has been for a really, really long time. And, he obviously means a lot to what we do offensively and what he brings to the table. And, there's no different than, some of our other great players, whether it's Jason or Jalen or AJ, Smitty, all those guys. Like, everybody has great value. And, Lane is no different. He's a spectacular player. And, when he's out there, he's one of the best in the business.
When you have a player like Driscoll that comes in cold, or any offensive lineman who comes in off the bench, is there a tendency to let's see how he does before we decide whether we're going to maybe give a little bit of help to that side? And how do you think he did when he came in?
Well, we have a ton of confidence in Jack. He's played in some big games for us over the course of the past 3 years. And he's played multiple positions. He's tough. He's smart. So he's a guy that we have a lot of faith in as a staff, and a guy that has done some really, really good things in his career here. And he's a guy that obviously we've depended on throughout the course of his career, whether it was in the 21 season or even in 22. So there's times where he's had to play a bunch, and I know he prepares like crazy to get himself ready to play. And